According to a consumer smartphone usage survey by South African mobile phone power bank providers, Adoozy, we're so in love with our phones, aren't we? And what they give us in our daily lives, that more than 40% of people say they'd rather endure the frustration of sitting in a traffic jam than having to part with their phone. 92% of South Africans believe they couldn't last I beg your pardon, than 24 hours without having their mobile device close to hand. But is this addiction? Well, the head of communications at Adoozy, Mathabo Sekhonyana, joins us now virtually to share more. Very good morning to you, Mathabo. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, first of all, speak to us about the survey and why you decided to look into smartphone usage.
I think from an Adoozy perspective, research has always been really at the core of what we do. And we see cell phones as an enabler for consumers. What was important for us was to kind of delve not just into nomophobia or if people are addicted to their phones, but also what they use their phones for, in which areas of their lives they're seeing this enabling aspect.
And perhaps one of the findings says 72% of respondents responded yes to the question, have you ever used your mobile phone to get out of a dangerous situation? Yeah?
I think that was a very interesting, but not overall surprising statistic that came out of the survey. I think we all know the issues around assault and gender-based violence, etc., within the country. In our previous survey, we also had respondents saying that the majority of them did use their cell phones when they were in e-hailing, for example, and kind of getting this anxious feeling when they don't have their phones, because you can't call for help, you can't track your ride, you can't share your live location, which are some of the little things that South Africans are now putting into practice as an additional layer of safety.
And in addition to that, we've seen one of the most popular users of a smartphone being banking, sending money and doing similar transactions, having come out tops as something we use our phones for every single day. That amounted to about 49.5%. So surely this clearly underscores the evolution of the importance of smartphones, right?
Definitely. I think especially post-COVID, we started to see the South African consumer kind of get more into the digital marketplace, seeing online as a place to, live out their entire world, whether that is financial transactions, whether that is shopping, whether that is connecting with family and friends. So really kind of seeing that digital native thing come into play more and more within the country.
And about 74% of respondents use their phones for physical and mental health benefits such as fitness trackers, heart rate monitors, blood pressure checkers, or even meditation apps. So has there a study been conducted to look into the accuracy of such readings?
So we have not conducted the study, specifically because that is not really our area of expertise from a perspective. Our interest is more in looking at the consumer holistically and their lifestyle. What I can say is that we're definitely seeing a trend with consumers in terms of caring more about their overall health, whether that is physical or mental. And of course, what we're seeing now in the market coming from other players is kind of tying points to this and kind of enabling consumers and encouraging consumers to take more of their physical and mental health. Whether the results are accurate or not, I'm not really the most qualified person to say.
Okay. And just taking into cognizance the fact that about 70% of smartphone users said that being able to use their smartphone for work makes them even more productive. But what's the danger of people not thinking outside of the box in terms of carrying out their duties, because the smartphone literally does everything for them, especially in the evolution and explosion of artificial intelligence?
I think like anything, moderation is key. I think that even if something can have positive benefits, such as enabling your work, it is making sure that you are taking those breaks. It is making sure that your usage is used more positively. From a AI perspective, I personally see it as a positive. I think that we are seeing AI tools such as ChatGPT on a small level, making employees more efficient, more productive, and more able to focus on other duties that AI is not yet ready to take over from human beings.
And there's only a smaller fraction of people who said that they only communicate via SMS. I know that my parents still use this mode of communication. So in the medium to long term, are we likely to see a decline in terms of texting with, with the rise in popularity of video communication, perhaps?
I mean, I know my grandmother is watching right now and probably SMSing her friends. So definitely that demographic. On our survey, our consumers, less than 1% used SMS and actually more see it as a tool for companies to market to them. We are starting to see an increase, not just in video format, but also in more immersive virtual reality. And if we're starting to see that trajectory moving towards virtual reality, then there is a case to be made for a potential decline from a text and voice perspective.
And I suppose a conversation needs to be had about who really bears the onus of instituting safety measures, especially for smartphone usage for kids. Is it the parents? Is it the teachers? Or is it just about anybody who has to take it upon themselves to ensure that their children are safe from cyberbullying?
I think that, again, this is one of the great dangers of the digital world, and especially for children who are growing up now. These are digital natives. They would not even think of sending that SMS. I would encourage parents to, number one, take charge and take control and make sure that they are actually on top of what their children are doing online, and also monitoring the interactions that they see their children having in public spaces. I think that there is an onus on schools, that there is an onus on teachers to, assist children. But what we are seeing is that there are many areas in the education system where this isn't really happening. And the people that potentially do have the most level of control are the parents. And then I think from an adult perspective, I think it is as a community keeping each other in check. It is when we see cyberbullying, not joining in, but saying, this is not how we behave. At the end of the day, if the society is going more towards a digital plane, that is still a reflection of our society as a whole. So the same way, if you see something in real life that is inappropriate, we need to call it up on digital platforms as well.
Mathabo, you couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. That was, 92% believe they couldn't last longer than 24 hours without having their mobile device close to hand. We just spoke to the head of communications at Adoozy, Mathabo Sekhonyana, on the recent survey that looks at the smartphone usage habits of South Africans.